Chapter 51. Uh-oh. It's your move, Rebecca whispers. I stare at the chessboard. Felix, it's your move. I know this. It's just lunch break is going to be over soon. I'm at chess club with Rebecca again. Yesterday she said all we had to do was play, and we did. But moves that usually take me seconds are now taking minutes. She beat me, and I don't think she was even trying because she sacrificed her rook like she was deliberately trying to lose just to make me feel good. But it hasn't worked because I'm playing terribly again today. I lift my hand and hover it over the board. Pawn to b4. No. Pawn to c6. Nope. I put my hand back down on the table. Pawn to d4. Pawn to h4. No, it's useless. I can't think of my next move because there are too many other thoughts getting in the way. Grandad is coming out of the hospital today and all I want to do is go home and wait for him. Last night I walked around the square 3 times and every time I passed his house I looked at the windows and imagined he was peeping out through the curtains and waving at me. But there wasn't even a sliver of a gap. Samson was huddled up on the doorstep because he'd been locked out all day. There was no sign of Grandad at all. It was like an alien spaceship had landed and taken him away. Rebecca opens a packet of crisps, really loudly like she's trying to get my attention. I glance up at her. She nods at the board. I blink, trying to make the board come into focus, but I've been staring for so long that all the squares are blurred. Pawn to g4 or pawn to e4. Rebecca leans across the table. Felix, she whispers, you've run out of time. Again? I mumble. I thought with Jake playing football you might be able to concentrate better, she says. Me too. Rebecca looks at me for a long time like that will make me talk, but it doesn't work. I glance around the room. Since the inter-schools championship, we've got 4 new members, so there are now 6 chessboards scattered on tables around the library, and all of the players have their heads down, working out their next moves, except for Rich, who's grinning across the room at me like he's been waiting for my next move too. The end of lunch bell rings. I grab my bag off my chair and walk between the tables. Rich stands up. Lose again? He asks. What happened? Have you run out of moves? My blood boils in my veins, but I don't want to reply because if I say anything, I feel like I'll cry. I keep walking. Oh, I get it, shouts Rich. Now you're in the national finals. You think you're too good to play with the rest of us? I stop and stare at him. My chest goes tight and my blood pumps through my fist. I walk back to Rich and look down at the board. He smirks like he's daring me to swipe all the chess pieces off his board. I draw my hand back and someone grabs it. Come on, Felix, says Rebecca, let's go. She pulls me away, but I'm still staring at Rich. Hope you get your A game back for next week, he says with a smirk. I will, I snap. Everyone looks up from their chess games, but their faces and the books on the shelves blur as I make my way towards the door. Ahead of me, some year 8s are gathered around the notice board talking to Mr. Keats. I put my head down and go to swerve around them. Ah, there he is, Felix. I was just on my way to the library to see you, Felix. Mr. Keats steps out into the corridor and blocks my way. How are you feeling? The year 8s step aside as he turns me towards the notice board. I was just pinning it up. My heart sinks into my stomach as I read. The National Schools Chess Championship is next week. Join us in supporting Felix Scope, St. Martin's School, 11th of May. What do you think? Mr. Keats grins like his enthusiasm might be catching. The whole school is behind you. Mr. Keats's words repeat in my head. The whole school is behind me. The whole school, packed into minibuses and coaches following me down the motorway, cheering and blaring their horns all the way to Birmingham. And when we get there, they'll all be watching me walk in, wishing me luck and patting me on the back because they think I'm going to win. But they don't know I haven't won a single match for a week. I've lost my game brain. I'm like Spider-Man without his webs, Thor without his hammer, Superman without his superpowers. I swallow hard, like I've got a golf ball stuck in my throat. Felix, says Mr. Keats, are you okay? I shake my head. No, sir, not really.